It's Saturday morning at 10 a.m., so you know what that means. It's time for What's Up, Ocala? With tens of thousands of viewers every month on our YouTube channel and millions so far on TikTok, we are joined by our host, local owner, and broker of Great Expectations Realty, Andrea Praber.
Good morning and welcome to What's Up, Ocala. I'm your host, Andrea Praber, and we are going to be talking about this crazy summer that we're having, all of the amazing things that have come to Ocala, the new things that are starting out, like, if you were anywhere near Reddick the first weekend of June, you probably already know what I'm talking about. We had Rock the Country. It was an amazing event. About 30,000 people showed up on Friday. It was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So if you were at the event, definitely, share what your thoughts are. Or if you were in the area and you saw all the massive crowds of people heading to that event, let me know all about it. This is the 2-day music festival that came to little old Ocala, and it was absolutely epic. Despite the intense heat, there was over 30,000 people in attendance on Friday, and then well over that. It was almost close to 40,000 on Saturday. That's nearly the entire population of the city of Ocala. It was a lot. Surprisingly, the traffic wasn't as bad as predicted earlier in the day, but it got really rough once it got cooler outside. That's when the majority of people just kind of all came in at once. So yeah, definitely pretty rough then. With headliners Kid Rock, Jason Aldean, Leonard Skinner, Travis Tritt, the concert drew people from all over Florida, and a lot traveled from all over the country. There was a woman that I met. Her name was Mima. She was 77 years old, and she traveled from Texas just to see, as she puts it, her Kid Rock. She wanted to see him for her birthday. I have to say the attire seems to be less is more. The temperatures soared way over 100 degrees in the afternoon, and there was very little shade provided at the outdoor event. The venue for this event, it's not like we, had a stadium built or anything. It was actually a 120-acre horse farm named Majestic Oaks, and it's owned by Ronald and Marissa DeMauro. During the event, there was a very strong police presence to keep any trouble to a minimum. Sheriff Billy Woods even took to the stage, and he promised the crowds that if everyone behaved themselves, he would take on any neighbors with noise complaints about the concert, which was really funny. Hopefully no one in the area was too bothered by that, because they announced that the Ocala concert was such a huge success that they're bringing it back next year. Hopefully next year it won't be in June, though. That was a little bit too hot, even for me. There were a lot of people that were passing out from the heat, and just kind of seeing them just passing out all around me. It was kind of crazy. And I know what you're thinking. Alcohol may have been a factor, okay? But I have to admit that I was one of those that was feeling not so great. I started getting nauseous and stuff, and it was totally, I had not even drank anything but water, okay? There wasn't any shade. There was just no escape. And even the water station near me was coming out like volcanic. It was hot. And it was hard to find ice. So thankfully I was able to find some cooler water, but it was just very, very uncomfortable because I just didn't know where to go. And the only water to be had anywhere near me that I could see was like, it was boiling hot. It was boiling hot. They had refrigeration for it, but it was just not functioning. So yeah, it wasn't drinkable. It was really not. It was very uncomfortable. So anyway, that's how that went. So I was not drinking alcohol. I was guzzling water. As soon as I found some ice and it was pleasant enough to drink, I was drinking it down, let me tell you. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. There was people they were dropping like flies all around me. It was crazy. And despite liberal amounts of sunscreen, I still got a bit roasted because, again, it was just all right there in the sun. And I have to say that the amount of sunscreen was the only thing liberal in that crowd, okay? In my naive mind, I thought I was just going to a music festival, but I saw more Trump signs than Kid Rock t-shirts by far. Okay, by far. My husband actually nearly had me convinced that Trump was going to show up and it would turn into a political rally at any moment, which if you've been listening to me for a while, you know, I try my best to stay politically neutral. Okay, I don't want to offend anyone. There are plenty of shows out there that go all into that sort of thing. That's just not something I'm willing to do. So I've never been to a political rally before. And I think the purpose of those is to get everyone all fired up. But to be in the middle of a political rally of 30 to 40,000 fired up individuals that were more than slightly inebriated, it made me a little uneasy. I'm not going to lie. I was a little worried. I did not sign up for that. Was not prepared, was not sure what was going to happen, but that didn't happen. It was a music festival, and it was actually very well run. Despite the heat, it really was very well run, very well organized. About the only political figure that actually showed up was our sheriff, Billy Woods. He took to the stage and he said, "In case you aren't familiar with Marion County, we believe in God and family and in our country, and we make no apologies for that." In that moment, he went from what a lot of people, I could kind of hear, they were considering him to be an annoying authority figure. He just went straight to rock star status in that instant. Okay, it was that quick. I was watching him later while he was walking through the crowds with his entourage in his perfect, crisp, white button-down shirt. And I could hear the whispers of awe in his wake. That's the sheriff for this county. Oh, that's him. That's him. That's the guy. And even a few locals, I heard them bragging, "I've met him before," which made me kind of smile, a little bit of a smirk. I'm not going to lie, because I thought maybe that they had met him in the process of a short stint at the Gold Star Hotel. That's the name our sheriff has given the county jail. So I just got so tickled by the awe. And so I went up and I asked him for a pic, which was a bit off since I was there in a media capacity. So I should have gotten a picture of him looking all pristine in his hat and blindingly white shirt. But I didn't. I strutted right up and asked to take a selfie with him, as I have many times in the past. And he is always obliged. He's really nice. I had to admit, I did struggle in taking pictures in the entirety at this event. One, because the clothes or lack thereof was jaw-dropping, but also because of my affiliation with the radio station, which is also politically neutral since it's community radio. And the station owner, he pulled my pics a few times because I didn't catch the Trump or Biden references on hats, shoes, shirts, pants, pockets, people in the background. And while I normally love that about 104.7, because I really do think that a station shouldn't be biased one way or another, just report, but, without the personal opinions, okay? I know I'm stating my personal opinion as I say this, but, not getting into what you should believe, but just stating facts, But man, after yet another really great picture got pulled because someone in the background had a Trump mask on, I was ready to give up, y'all. I was ready to give up. I was so irritated because I just didn't catch. It's not only the people that you're taking a picture of, but also everyone in the background. It was just so packed with people. It was crazy. So yeah, I did take a lot of pictures that did not necessarily make it up to the radio station Facebook page, but that's okay. I do have them. They'll go up on YouTube. And because, to me, it was just background. It wasn't political affiliations. It was just background. Anyway, the second day that was there, that was Saturday, and it was rainy in the afternoon, which I was really appreciative of. It really cooled things off. I wasn't thrilled with the threat of my camera equipment getting wet, but it wasn't like a really, really super long storm. It wasn't, really, really bad. It was just enough to really cool things down, actually. But in my haste to get out of the rain to make sure that none of my equipment got wet, I ended up under an awning of an RV that I was passing just as the heavens opened up and tried to soak me. And I'd apparently happened upon the real Ricky Bobby. Yes, you heard that right. The movie Talladega Nights was, of course, completely fictional and a comedy. But despite what Wikipedia might say, Ricky Bobby is actually Rick Treadway. And he has the Indianapolis 500 team winning ring to prove it. And Rick was awesome. He was so entertaining, a total sweetheart. He made sure I was comfortable and not soaked by the quickly over downpour. His whole entourage, some really nice ladies, were hilarious. They were very warm and welcoming. And we had a great time laughing, mostly at me for asking for his real name when he said his name was Ricky Bobby, because I didn't realize that there was a real Ricky Bobby. He had to show me the ring. It was really embarrassing. I had to Google him. If that's not the saddest thing ever, I don't know what is, but anyone that's a fan of racing right now is probably ready to kick me for not knowing about the Treadway racing team and their place in IndyCar fame. Apparently, winning the Indianapolis 500 is a really big deal. It was a cool ring, though. That was pretty cool. But these days, Ricky Bobby is living in Daytona Beach and flying his planes. I guess the need for speed transcends the roads after a while. He kind of seems like the type to take a ride in a rocket to outer space just for the thrill of it. Just for the experience. Why not? Give it a try. He was really cool. But, eventually the rain stopped pretty quickly, actually. And I said my goodbyes and many thanks to that group and headed for the gates. So with so many people, you would think that the gates would be long and impossible to get through, but they were pretty easy and pretty fast moving. And after the unbearable heat of Friday, Saturday was wonderful. I had no complaints at all. It was pleasant. The music, because of course I did go there for the music after all. It was amazing both days, but out of all of it, man, I'd have to say Leonard Skinner and Jason Aldean were my personal favorites. I mean, Kid Rock was great. Travis Tritt was great. There was a lot of other singers and stuff. They were amazing, but those two were my favorites. I think so. My daughter, she was out there on Friday. She's 16, and I have to admit, I was a little embarrassed listening to Kid Rock lyrics with her staring at me. He was extremely energetic and entertaining and all on stage, but yeah, not the music we normally let Lexi listen to, and boy, did she rub it in. Ooh, she was taking full advantage of that. Let me tell you, there was some salt she poured and rubbed into that wound. It was, I was a little embarrassed, a little bit more than embarrassed. So yeah, I probably won't live that one down for a while, but that's okay. I think the biggest thing to happen was that announcement that they wanted to do it again next year. It was crazy. In fact, I've already seen that they are preparing for next year's lineup. And I would really love to see some of the local talent up there, wouldn't you? I mean, Noah Hunton would be great. I actually asked him at a recent event if he had gotten into contact with them to see if he could participate, because I think he would be great up there. Can you just imagine a Forest High School alum playing to over 30,000 people, sharing a stage with the likes of like Jason Aldean, Leonard Skinner, and Kid Rock? That is the stuff dreams are made of right there. That's pretty cool.
At Great Expectations Realty, we believe that you should expect more from your real estate experience. When you hire a realtor to sell your home, you should expect experienced advice on staging your home, professional photography, aerial photos, virtual video tours, and a national presence online to advertise your home to the largest pool of buyers. Your realtor should communicate from start to finish, and always remember this is your home. You are in the driver's seat. We believe that if you aren't happy with our efforts, you should be able to fire us. We don't have cancellation fees, and our sellers never pay transaction fees either. Call Great Expectations Realty at 352-817-9160 or go online to greatexpectationsrealty.com to get your free analysis of your home's market price. Great Expectations Realty. Expect more from real estate.
So what about July? Because summer is not just June. So what happened in July? Well, Ocala had the first ever Patriotic Skies drone show in Tuscaloosa Park. It, of course, also had to rain because it's Florida and it's summertime. And that's what it does in the afternoons in Florida in the summertime. And while it did delay everything for a little over an hour, it never really drenched us. It just kind of threatened to, really. There was not, thankfully, very thankfully, 30 to 40,000 people at the event, although it did kind of feel that way at the end. There were thousands there. I haven't gotten an estimated count yet, but it was packed. And Tuscaloosa Park is huge. I mean, considering the size of Tuscaloosa Park, that's really saying something. And the live music, phenomenal. I could have listened to that a lot longer. They had to have it abbreviated because of the rain delay. But Noah Hunton was up there and Chris McNeil, both of which were amazing. Noah Hunton is Ocala native, and Chris McNeil, he's from Central Florida as well. Both of them had the crowd fired up. They were loving the music, dancing along with it. It was great. Although I have to say, Noah Hunton, really good looking. I mean, they're both good looking guys, but Noah Hunton, he actually threw his hat out into the crowd. And, somebody got the hat and they were all thrilled. And then he gave a signed guitar away. I was like, oh, that's so cool. He gave it to a kid. His name was Jackson. Great. It was really cool. But then he takes his shirt off and threw that out to the crowd. And I was like, if he goes any further and takes his pants off, this is going to be a totally different kind of show. Okay. I did not sign up for that. He didn't. It was all fine. It was just, just the shirt and the hat. But I was definitely kind of wondering there for a minute. I was like, I don't think that's what they paid for that. You need to keep your boots on, okay? It's great. Anyway, both of them, they had great music, just really great presence. It was cool. I heard Boot Scootin' Boogie from Chris McNeil, and I was just thrilled to pieces. I absolutely love that song. I know it's an oldie, but it's a goodie, and I love it. Well, then the Ocala Symphony Orchestra was piped throughout the entire park from inside the Riley. And to that, the drones were launched, and they were even better than I imagined. I couldn't believe the loud cheering that the crowd gave for when the drones spelled out Ocala in the logo of the city. I even heard one man yell, "That's right, that's Ocala, my city." I was like, wow. Like, they wouldn't normally be so thrilled with Ocala and feeling it, but they were really feeling it. The horse walking and the Statue of Liberty, that was pretty cool. Those got really loud cheers as well. I think the only two issues, and they're not complaints, don't get me wrong, but they're just maybe issues, hopefully for next year. They're going to do it again next year, hopefully. But one thing is the drones didn't seem to be quite high enough since the trees, and there are a lot of trees in Tuscaloosa Park, but because of the tree line blocked a portion of them, it was kind of over so quickly. I know for everybody running the drones and everything, it probably seemed like forever and a day, but I would have loved to have seen them up there for another 10 minutes for sure. They were just that cool. I mean, I would have liked to see probably the time that they were up there doubled. And of course, it was a free event from the city and all of that, but at the same time, everybody had been out there. They were waiting. They got through heat. They got through rain. They were wanting to see those drones, and it was 10 minutes long. And I would love to see probably double that. It would have been really enjoyable, but that's okay. I mean, I think it's probably a fireworks display is probably only about 10 minutes as well, but still, I don't know, the drones, we could have doubled it. We could have doubled it and still just been entranced. It was great. I honestly, I can't wait to see what next year brings to our fair city. I mean, it's really 2024 is, my goodness, it has just launched Ocala. Good grief. If you were at either of those events, let me know what your thoughts are. Was I off with the drones? I mean, let me know what you think. What was your experience at the Rock the Country event? Are you going to go back next year? Let me know. I would love to see what you experienced. You can either do that on our Facebook page or you can do that on our YouTube channel. But definitely reach out. Let me know what it was like for you. Well, we talked about past events, but what's coming up? What is going on? What are we doing this weekend, for example? Well, it is the first Saturday of July, which means it's the free first Saturday at the Appleton Museum. So if you want to head out over there, it's a fantastic thing to do. Stay in the air conditioning and enjoy the Appleton Museum of Art. It's free admission all day to see the permanent collection. You can also see special exhibitions or even make art in art space. in combination with the special exhibition Outsider Aviary, Robert W. Schmeltzer's Birds of America. You can also see a screening of a 2017 documentary on Audubon. Screenings are scheduled for 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. and are free as well as part of Free First Saturday. So looking forward to that. The Donut Express and Secret Kitchen Latin Fusion food trucks will be on site throughout the day as well. And from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you can visit the cafe for a pop-up cat cafe adoption event by the Humane Society of Marion County. How cute is that? Saturday hours are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For every Free First Saturday. And the sponsor for this, we got to mention, is Campus USA Credit Union. So we definitely want to mention that. But what if you actually want to venture outdoors in July? I don't know if want is actually the word, but you can head over to the first Saturday of the month. There's the Junk in the Trunk over at Brown's Market over in Oxford. That's at 13940 US Highway 301. And it's basically, if you've not been before, it is a giant, huge community yard sale. And Junk in the Trunk is exactly that. People come with their vehicles, and some of them could be cars, they can be trucks, SUVs, U-Haul, vans, whatever. They show up, and that is what they sell. That's whatever they packed in there is what is going up for sale. So it's pretty cool. But it's located just south of Brown's Country Market on Highway 301. The sale is always the first Saturday of every month throughout the year, even in the summertime. And there's around 150 to 200 vehicles. These are all sellers, and they have clear out yard sale kind of items. It's different every single time. My family and I love going to this. It's so much fun. Some amazing prices because people are literally just having a garage sale. They're just getting rid of the stuff. It's pretty cool. And it's really, really easy if you're going to sell. There's no need to register. There's no need to you just show up between 5 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. and you just go in, set up, bring your own tables, chairs, a tent if you want to use some shade, whatever. Anyone can come and sell. That's it. For safety reasons, the advertised shopping times are the advertised shopping times. You cannot leave before 1 p.m. because they don't want a lot of pedestrians and cars at the same time. So pedestrians leave first and then the sellers go. It's free for anybody that wants to go and shop. You do not have to pay to go in. It's just go in, shop, park. That's it. There is a very small fee for sellers, depending on the size of the vehicle that you're selling out of. So cars, $15, $15. That's it. You got the whole space. You're set up. It's already advertised. Good to go. If you have a truck, an SUV, or a Jeep, it's $20. Woohoo! Whole $20. And then vans and trailers and stuff like that, $25. So this event is held on the first Saturday of every month throughout the year. You can find out more on the Facebook page for Brown's Market, or just look up Junk in the Trunk and it'll come up. All right. Well, hopefully you will find some fun stuff to do today out and about this weekend. It is definitely July. It is hot. So stay cool, stay hydrated, and have a great time here in Ocala. Well, I think that is it for us. Thanks for listening. And as always, if you or someone you know needs to buy or sell their home, let us know. Great Expectations Realty has a full team of agents to help you with anything from a 1031 exchange to property management and everything in between. So give us a call at 352-817-9160 if we can help you with any of your real estate needs. All right, you guys have a great day and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to What's Up, Ocala? Follow us all week on Andrea Praber's YouTube channel and TikTok. We'll see you next week at 10 a.m. on What's Up, Ocala.